The more important question relates to the Conclave and its power to designate royal advisors. Today, randomly chosen mages and sorceresses reside at many courts. However, in the time of the previous Conclave, such persons were
Why shouldn't we
carefully
pick our
chosen.
own advisors?
These individuals bear great responsibility, Your Majesty. The Conclave needs to be certain they are competent.
And that they will keep the Conclave's interests in mind.
Obviously, sire. The Conclave's chief interest is the well-being and prosperity of the Northern Kingdoms. The document has been signed by every member of the Conclave we have proposed, as well as by all but one of the designated advisors. We await only Sheila de Tanserville's signature.
Without our royal seals, you should be allowed to designate advisors to cowherds at most.
That is true, Your Majesty.
Sheila de Tanserville should never be allowed to sign this document.
Triss Merigold, you decided to join us after all.
De Tanserville has royal blood on her hands. She can't sit on the Conclave.
That is a lie.
Have you anything to support these claims, Merigold?
There are witnesses who will confirm that Sheila de Tanserville was behind the assassinations of Demavend and Foltest.
Officials of the future Council and Conclave. Sheila de Tanserville should be arrested and tried. If Triss Merigold speaks the truth, Lady de Tanserville will be condemned to death.
Sheila de Tanserville, until Triss Merigold's charges are dismissed or refuted, you cannot sit on the Conclave.
Arrest her.
You don't know the whole truth. Merigold doesn't know what she's talking about.
Magic's no good here. I can't get us out. Sheila! You have to get Sheila!
Stand back while you can, Witcher. You can't stop me. Not you, not anyone else. If I have to, I will kill you. How do you like my dragon? Kill him now!
You're late. I've already managed to stabilize the portal.
You've got nowhere to run. Sooner or later, somebody will find you.
I prefer to leave on my own terms.
Where's Letho?
Sir Synthesis will tend to him, as she will to all the fools who get a hard-on at the mere thought of burning a sorceress at the stake.
Where is he?
I don't know, fool. I've been looking for him since Foltest's assassination. Letho cheated all of us. We were deceived by his dull face and sluggish stare. Don't you understand? The Lodge sought a way to get rid of Demavend, that's true. He was a weak, volatile king. Edirn would eventually choke to death under his rule. We chose the lesser evil. He had to be eliminated, and Letho happened to be at hand.
Foltest? Henselt?
We had nothing to do with that. After assassinating Demavend, Letho used our gold and magical support to find and meet Yorveth. The elf was to help him hide until the matter blew over, or so I thought. The Lodge did not condemn Foltest to die.
Then who did?
Nilfgaard. Letho is the king of liars and emperor of traitors. From the start, he worked for the glory of the great sun and the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. He lied to everyone. Me, Yorveth, your stupid little Triss, and you.
Got any evidence?
A moment ago, I received a message from the Lodge's agent in Sintra.
I don't know, but you made it all possible and you'll answer for that. The stigma of treason is yours for all time.
We shall see. For no one will leave this city alive. Philippa controls the dragon. As soon as I disappear...
The dragon attacked Foltest's troops during the siege of Lavalette Castle. That hardly supports your tale.
We did not control it then. We may have lost a battle, but the war is just beginning. You, however, shall not take part in it. This is your end, Witcher.
Farewell!
Something's not right! The diamond! Someone replace the diamond! This one's flawed! I'll be torn to bits! Geralt, remove it!
You waited long enough. Should you survive, go south to Nilfgaard, where you'll find Yennefer of Vengerberg. Farewell, Witcher.
तो कोई
Guess they'll never learn.
मीडियम नहीं है वो हाँ
How many more can there be?
list of the Lodge's sorceresses.
A list of the whores you'll help us find.
What's going on here?
Hands off!
Are you all right?
More or less.
And the dragon?
I had to kill it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
Philippa enslaved the dragon with her magic. If I'd let it live, we'd surely find it serving the Lodge of Sorceresses. Many more would have died. Before the sorceresses broke the creature's will, it was noble and beautiful in its own way. But I'm dead tired of having to choose.
लीक हो गया था, तेको पता है? अभी हुआ है लीक, आधे 1 घंटे पहले, 1.5 घंटे पहले पेपर लीक हो गए थे दोनों, AIML के और CSI ग्रुप पे आ गए, मेरे ग्रुप पे आ गए, बाहर लेके आए। मैं तो एक दिन मेरा भूल गया था,
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on the PC, you can import your Witcher 2 save files so that the third game reflects the major decisions from the second game. But maybe you're not playing on PC, or maybe you lost your save files, forgot what happened to Witcher 2. You may not understand the sequence that presents these choices. In this Witcher 3 sequence, the Nilfgaardian Emperor has invited you to his palace. But before you meet him, one of his commanders subjects you to a shave, during which he asks you some probing questions. If you haven't played The Witcher 2, you aren't likely to know the background of these questions. So fear not, I'm here to provide some context so you don't feel completely lost when you're confronted with this. Follett is, or was, depending on how you do it, the son of the mistress of... You can kill him and his guards if you want to, or allow him to live. In The Witcher 2, if you kill him, that opens up interactions with his mother later in The Witcher 2. If you force him to surrender, you encounter him later and might even aid in his escape from the castle. Choice number 2, did you leave Flotsam with Verna Roche or with Norvith? So Verna Roche is the military leader and loyal servant of Foltest, who interrogated Geralt at the beginning of The Witcher 2. However, he came to believe that Geralt did not assassinate Foltest and helped in his escape. Norvith is an elf, the commander of the Scoia'tael unit. Scoia'tael are non-human freedom. Roche's path, going with Norvith, goes down Norvith's road. In either case, you confront a series of choices that you do not confront should you go down the other's path. Furthermore, the next choice you make in this conversation of Witcher 3 depends on what choice you choose here. So if you chose Norvith's path, your third choice in Witcher 3 in this conversation is this. Did you save Triss the Luckian Summit, or did you lift the spell that killed Saskia? So if you didn't know, Triss Marigold is Geralt's primary romantic interest in Witcher 3 and a pretty great sorceress. Saskia is a local warrior who revolts with and some joint land lands. In this stage of Witcher 2, Triss is in prison for working. Absolutely like Foltest's death. If you choose to release Saskia from her curse, she regains her free will. There are damaging repercussions for mages. Now we can quickly take witch hunt. Now if you chose Roche's path, question number 2, your third choice is as follows. Did you save Triss from her Nilfgaardian prison, or did you save Anais Lavalette? Now, Anais Lavalette is Arian's half-sister, and she is the daughter of King Foltest. That means that Anais is the true heir to Foltest's throne. She's captured and held by Henselt's forces, and should you choose to rescue her, you must again make a choice, and you're either forced to Redania or to Temeria. If you rescue Triss, however, things play out more or less like they do on Norvith's path. In this case, Triss gets to confront Sheila de Tanserville about her role in the assassination. Your fourth choice is this. Did you save Sheila de Tanserville from her defective megascope, or did you let her perish? So a megascope is a magical device that's good for teleporting and having conversations at a distance. Unfortunately for Sheila, Letho had sabotaged her megascope. Sheila tried to escape while you watch, however...
पाव भाजी नहीं खाता हूँ सच्ची नहीं खाता हूँ मैं अंदर नहीं जाता पाव भाजी खाली हो फिर और क्या बोलूँ
She ends up in danger and begs for you to help. If you save her, she disappears, but only after giving you a hint as where you can find a long-lost Yennefer. If you let her die, well, she's dead. The last choice you end up making is essentially the last one you make in The Witcher 2 at all, and that is, did you kill Letho or allow him to walk free? So Letho is a Witcher and the man who actually committed the crime Geralt is confused of. You meet him quite a few times over the course of The Witcher 2, but your final act is to choose whether he should live or whether he should die. Maybe your last decision in The Witcher 2, its consequences are simple.
सब
Let's get out of here.
I guess Letho got away.
He's waiting for you.
Waiting?
Where the Temerians made camp. Come on.
What do you mean, waiting? How do you know?
Utter chaos broke out after the dragon attacked. I tried to reach Philippa's quarters. A terrified man approached me in one of the alleys, gave me a letter and begged me not to harm him. He said it was for you. The letter was short. I'm waiting in the Temerian camp. Letho.
What happened here while I was gone?
All the kings had many more armed men than they should have had at a peace summit. During the evacuation, several skirmishes broke out. The Cadwennies clashed with the Temerians. The Order's knights raped 2 sorceresses and killed those who dared try to help them.
Do you think the Council and Conclave will survive?
They're established, and that's the only thing that prevented a wholesale massacre. Hard to say if they'll survive. But for the time being, no one's got any better ideas. Mages are part of this world, whether people like it or not. They have to have their rights, their place. Otherwise, another lodge will arise.
Vernon Roche, step away from the child.
She's of royal blood. Temerian. Too good for you, Horsens.
You're an outlaw, wanted in all the north. Hand over the child and perhaps the king will show you mercy.
I piss on Kedwenny mercy.
Roche!
Triss! We can't let them have her! This is Foltest's daughter!
I've heard enough! Grab them!
I failed. Deathmold got away. Thanks, Geralt.
Triss needed my help. You know that. The Nilfgaardians outwitted us all.
What are you talking about?
They kidnapped Triss. The Emperor dispatched the Kingslayers using the Lodge as a decoy, all in order to breed chaos in the northern kingdoms.
Temeria is lost. The Barons will pick it apart into bits.
It's not lost. Temeria will be reunited. Get the child out of here. Take her far away, far from the kings, their courts, and their wars. One day, she'll reclaim her heritage.
What about you, Geralt?
I'm going after the Kingslayer.
A man of his word.
It's personal now.
Farewell then, White Wolf.
Farewell, Roach. Where's Yorvith? How is Yorvith?
Proud, I think. The reward on his head has never been greater. Those seeking him, the Scoia'tael hunters, will be reinforced. The special forces throughout the north will receive more resources. The council and the conclave are assigning several mages to the task. Yorvith is now public enemy #1. They won't rest until they kill him.
This is no place for witches. Though I know you and you appear wherever something important happens.
True, though sometimes by accident.
And this time, also a coincidence?
Let's say I have something to take care of.
In that case, hurry. Once we're done cleaning up this mess created by the royal soldiery, Loch Muin will be magically sealed.
Getting out of here?
Temporarily.
So
we shall win His Royal Majesty's trust by delivering Sheila de Tansarville and the...
That could take a while. Sheila's fled Loch Muin via Megascope.
We have time. She can't... Forgive me, I must attend to some matters. And don't dawdle. The city will be sealed in 1 hour.
There he is.
Wait for me.
Geralt.
I don't want you to get hurt.
I can take care of myself.
Not this time. I need to talk to him alone. Wait for me at the city gate. If I'm not there within the hour, leave without me.
If I like your cause, I'll let you live, man. You're a fellow witcher.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's Megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the Megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the royal witch hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first, vodka.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every Witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our Witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Tell me about Yennefer.
She was feverish for several days. Somehow she recovered. But even...
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums after you so nobly sacrificed yourself. We thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces, everywhere.
Imperial secret.
We were separated. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later...
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
How did you...
Every Witcher who wears the Viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded.
Know who they are? You know...
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No.
Go ahead, enlighten.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves?
They may be ordinary in their world.
There's not a Witcher who doesn't know.
So you...
As they did for you. So,
I've got an idea. How did a Witcher agree to...
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human.
Why?
Simple. He promised to... Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago. Besides Serret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and...
Why are you still here?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide any... I never...
Care to tell?
Kill as many and you know what's in... The north resembles a whorehouse on...
I'm done talking.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial...
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing, but that's just...
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away.
I've learned all I wanted to know. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained Temerian, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwen and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragonslayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Edirn whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. After Foltest's death, Temeria's neighbors began to vie for the glittering prize that was the realm's throne. Yet the murders of first Demavend, then Henselt, forced them to look to their own problems. Temeria fell prey to its power-hungry barons. But Vernon Roche held a light of hope for the dying realm, and he tucked it away in a place safe and still to await better times. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
bala 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 over.